A piece to Salita Marie, L.A. Hopkins, Grand Rising, Renaissance Woman, as it as it stands. It looked like a lot of that's why I don't buy into the whole elder thing. Because it looked like everybody who you call the elder or respect as an elder are all sold out to Pan-Africanism. Everything that goes against FBA, these quote unquote elders are sold onto. None of them are holding the line. That's why I say it's a new day. Outdated material got to go. Outdated people got to go. Like these guys are not elders, they're olders who are stuck. They're stuck and they can't evolve. The difference between us and them is that we're older, but we evolved. We adapted to what needs to be done going forward. Okay, and that's why we happily embrace FBA, Adolf, Freeman. It's not a problem at all because we were never sold out to Pan-Africanism. Never. We always genuinely looked for liberation. You want to use that word? We join things that we truly believe can liberate us and help us achieve many things. So whether it was Pan-Africanism, whether it was Islamism, Christianity, we really believe those things were the outlets, but they all, they weren't. Okay. So let's get into the theme song and we're gonna get right into it.
They've always had a system. They've always had a system. Homes it act consistent. General order for resistance. HOLC system. Robin's airport system. Black Wall Street resistance. DR New Deal assistance. Granddad of executive order is home status system. General order for resistance. HOLC system. Robin's airport Black Wall Street resistance. DR in the system. Turn off executive order resistance. Early Zeddy, Hardy. Revolve skill experience at it. Early Zeddy, Hardy. Even more aspirants at it. Early 1900s. That when niggas rule for. Early 1900s. We were black and beautiful. Dreaming with aspirations. Early 1900s, that when niggas ruled off. Early 1900s, we were black and beautiful. We always had a system.
Currently, I don't know if you're paying attention to what's happening in the internet now, but there's a beef, between Africans and African Americans. One thinks they're better than the other on both sides. And I told people in my platform that okay, yeah, the beef exists, but I know that the tech companies are pushing this so that they can divide us even further than, than the extent that we're divided now. And people are just falling into the traps. And I'm like, guys, we need it. Like, what do you think about the division that is kind of going on right now?
Homestead ecosystem, general order forgery resistance, HOLC system, Robin's era resistant, system, Black Wall Street resistant, FBA New system, Randolph executive order resistant. Early staining logic, reflection, respiration. Early staining logic, treatment with respiration. Early 90s, early 90s, we were black and beautiful. Reflection, respiration. Early staining logic, treatment with respiration. Early 90s, every nigga rooster. Early 90s, we were black and beautiful. Homestead ecosystem, general order 400 resistance, HOLC resistance, Harbin's airport resistance, legacies transcend, Black Wall Street resistance, ADR distant, Philip Randolph executive order resistant.
The same experience they had, we have same experience. They were our brothers. They were kidnapped. We did not sell our brothers. We never sold them to anybody. We were kidnapped, and they were lied to. Their descendants were lied to that they were sold. No.
We cannot defeat white supremacy from a divided front. We have been doing it for decades, and look at where we are right now. Is white supremacy powerful? Is white supremacy oppressing us? Is white supremacy still on our necks for 400 years? Yes, it is. You know why? It's because we have been fighting white supremacy from a divided front. Africans are fighting white supremacy alone. African Americans alone. Africans in South America alone. Africans in Europe are fighting white supremacy alone. Do you think we will get far if we continue doing this? Do you even think we will even move one step if we keep on doing this? And look at where we are right now, beefing over petty differences. Even Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, said it best. Africans are cursed with petty differences. Stop this, and let's unite as African people. Stop this useless beef, and let's unite as African people. Let's not fall in their traps. Let's not fall in their traps, and let's find a way on how we can coexist with one another in our respective environments.
Go to a website you love.
Family. Yeah. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Yo, we can't do anything with those guys. They are delusional. Petty differences. Like, they act like our gripe is small. Yeah, they disrespect us so much.
The thing I'm seeing right.
They refuse to listen to what we're saying because they know it's true. That's like trying to get a robber to listen while you have to call the cops on him and get him locked up. Like, everything after that, he's not listening to. Check this out. Same guy. Same guy. He is case in point why we could do nothing with them in the future, or now, present, future. They're just completely tainted, tampered. I mean, they are the opposite of a white supremacist. Like, they're the same as white supremacists. They're just coming from African world perspective rather than European world perspective. Listen to this.
Thing I'm seeing right now, Africans versus African Americans. So disgusting. You know what's disgusting about it? Like you don't even need to be a genius to recognize and to realize that this is being driven by bots and these tech companies.
We're being driven by bots and tech companies. So our complaints are just useless. They're just cast away. They don't take them serious because we're bots. So what we see, what we know what's going on, they chalk it up as just bots. Like the hell what FBA is talking about. They're bots. They're bots. That was
We
that.
post content regular life.
And I want to address this thing I'm seeing right now, Africans versus African Americans. So disgusting. You know what's disgusting about it? You don't even need to be a genius to recognize and to realize that this is being driven by bots and these tech companies to poison our algorithms. This is white supremacy written all over it in form of bots, in form of tech companies to drive a division between Africans and Africans in the diaspora. This is a shaming, and it's a shame that we are falling in their traps. It's a shame.
Yeah, FBAs, we're so stupid that we fall for bots. Okay.
This is divide and conquer 101. Divide and conquer 101. And they have been doing divide and conquer for hundreds of years in our community, in our global African.
Really? I could have sworn your ancestors was part of that divide and conquer. You divided us, you raided us, you sold us, and there you go.
Community. And it's like we don't even learn from history. Only fools don't learn from history. If you recognize a pattern, it is up to us to stop that pattern.
Yeah, that pattern is you linking up with them folks and selling us. Okay, that is the pattern. You guys do business together, and we always get the worst of it, right? And we're recognizing that pattern in 2025.
And unite as African people and notice their tricks.
Wait, unite is what? The hell? Wait, what did you just slip in there?
If you recognize a pattern, it is up to us to stop that pattern and unite as African people and notice their tricks.
Unite? Okay, so this message can't be for us in America. He said unite as Africans. Yeah, he done lost his goddamn mind. They done lost their mind. Unite as Africans. Hey, Caribbean people, Haitian, he is talking to you.
You know why they're doing this? Because they know very well that white supremacy cannot continue reigning if Africans are united. They know that very, very clearly. They know very well that the only kryptonite to white supremacy is Pan-Africanism.
All right, well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about what happened to you guys. What happened when you guys tried to unite? So in the 1960s, there was a wave of Pan-Africanism, and they were trying to build federations. Okay, so most Black countries got the independence in the 1960s, around that time. Okay, so Africans felt like, you know what? Let's unite. Let's unite under Pan-Africanism. Look what happened. So there's something called the Mali Federation, Senegal and Mali, 1960. They tried to get together, and guess what? It collapsed within months due to Senegal versus Mali leadership conflicts. Yeah. Okay, what about Nkrumah, Ghana? He wanted immediate continental government. Let's do it right now. But Senghor, Senegal, and Ivory Coast, they prefer gradualism. Each leader feared losing national power. That became a nothing burger. So your boy Nkrumah couldn't unite two other African countries, let alone 54 countries. And what is the main reason why they couldn't get along and come together and unite? Is because they had just won their independence and they were reluctant in their mind, handing it away by uniting. Okay. And also, you had richer states resisted subsidizing poor ones because, like you had Nigeria versus smaller ones. And yeah, so that whole wave of unification was called the Pan-African Federations. Anybody can Google that, type that up. They all flopped. So they couldn't unite with each other. And then you had the West Indies Federation around the same exact time. The Caribbean tried the Pan-Caribbean thing. That flopped miserably. So 2 times they try to get together with themselves, not even including us, themselves, and both times it flopped. So that's not the kryptonite. The kryptonite is you all are in your own way.
Are united.
So how can we unite with a divided people?
They know that very, very clearly. They know very well that the only kryptonite to white supremacy is Pan-Africanism. So they play these little games to divide us, and we are falling in their traps. We should be ashamed of ourselves. Let me say this very quickly. We cannot defeat white supremacy from a divided front. We have been doing it for decades, and look at where we are right now. Is white supremacy powerful? Is white supremacy oppressing us? Is white supremacy still on our necks for 400 years? Yes, it is. You know why? It's because we have been fighting white supremacy from a divided front.
Told you, everybody's trying to compete for Papa, Prince of Pan-Africanism. Everybody's putting their bid in. Dr. Mayat, Omar Wahali, Baba Smalls, the Libyan guy, Reggie, all of them are trying to put their bid in for Papa.
Africans are fighting white supremacy alone. African Americans alone. Africans in South America alone. Africans in Europe are fighting white supremacy alone. Do you think we will get far if we continue doing this? Do you even think we will even move one step if we keep on doing this?
Well, I don't know his recollection of our history, but everything we wanted to get done, we got done with little to no help in this country of outsiders, foreigners that look like him. Little to no help. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them were involved in our movement. That's it. We got it done without you guys, but you guys couldn't get anything done with just yourselves. All your federations flopped. African federations flopped. West Indian federations flopped. So I don't believe that message is for FBAs at all. I got my fingers in my ear. I can't hear you, sir. So I found this interesting. I found, I'm a nosy guy. I was surfing the net. I seen Dr. Mayat put a new video out that flopped, had no views. And I was reading the comments to see, if anybody gonna call her out. And somebody did. Somebody said, people are reluctant to support you because you flip-flop. One day you're a freedman, and the next day you provide a platform for a freedman hater, Mawali. Then you spoon feed him questions to get him to say more hateful things. The people are losing faith in you, and it's showing in your views. IGS, get on code. So she responded back. You would think that she'll have some type of humility. She attacked him. Flip-flop. Now, by the way, people send me comments of criticism all the time, family. I just like it. I just press like, or I just leave it alone because people have the right to the criticism. I felt like one time I was going to reply to somebody and I was writing something and I said, what am I doing? Why am I in the comment section? Like, they have the right to voice their opinion about my content. I said, hey, I erased it and just let it go, but not her. She put flip flop. Now look, she don't respond to what they said. She just go into an ad hominem attack, which is all what they all do. They all got big egos. Listen to this. Flip flop only to an unlearned person with poor comprehension. So they always throw that jab at FBAs and whoever. When they got these doc letters, this is part of the elitist class that we've been talking about. And this is exactly how like the Africans feel when they come over here, the elitists of their kind that come over here highly selected, like doctorate degrees or whatever. That's exactly how they feel when they come over here with all these big the doctorates and double PhDs in their country, and they come over here, they thumb their nose down at us. That's what she just did. Flip flop only to an unlearned person with poor comprehension. I do more for FBA youth than any of the personalities you watch on YouTube. I mean, goddamn, all of the personalities that we watch, I don't need or desire your support. Yes, you do, because you're always telling people to buy your bullshit. You're always holding your book up. You want people to subscribe to your channel. Like this is a family. What are we doing? The goal is we want support. Like, how can my channel be any of value, serve any value to anybody if it's not being supported? And that's why I have the Cash App tag right there for that type of support. So go ahead and hit that Cash App, $1 or $2, and then put something on my coffee or bigger. Anyway, like look at the arrogance of these elitists. I do more for FBA youth than any of the personality you watch on YouTube. I mean, how do you compare that? How do you compare what you did versus what I did and what somebody in the chat have done? Let me just throw smile out there. Let's say Walter Parrish. Like, how does she know that she did more than Walter Parrish? Family, everybody who does great work is not on the internet. Like, I know for a fact that she have not done more than my oldest brother did. But my oldest brother did so much community work. Is that not only is he big in my community, he's also big in Newark. Like, he's not even from Newark. Like, he just moved out there, he got married, and like he's big time in a whole different county. So this could be my brother, giving some honest criticism. And she comes with she done more for FBA youth than any of the personalities we watch on YouTube. Like, that is a crazy statement to say. I don't need or desire your support. Who are you? Who are you? Somebody who has a voice. What, people don't count anymore? Again, that's the elitist thing. You have to have a name on YouTube to count to her. A clown behind a keyboard. No, just a voice behind a keyboard, and they were boisterous. You keep typing while I keep working. Well, everybody's working. And everybody serve the communities in different ways. Not everybody's going to hand out food to the poor. Like, some people just standing on all 10 is support. Put it back. Put it back. You want to go outside? Okay.
It's not an issue that they
They're worried about.
yeah, that they would think about, so it makes sense why they would be hesitant to be like, oh, okay, yeah, welcome, like,
You don't think our problem's the same everywhere though? I mean, in terms of just poverty, being looked down, not having the economic wealth as everybody else, I feel like that's a common thing in all Black societies, regardless if you're from the States or from Africa, the original place. So it's like, when it comes down to the more common folk saying, why are you coming here? I feel like it's the same way everywhere in the States. But I feel like that's when it comes down to, like, talking about corporations, the government. They are the one that really care about who's coming in. That's what you talk about. You have China coming in. China come into every place, and they put money down, and it's all for their good, their common interest at the end of the day. and it's really not for the people that they even go to the land of. Because I see it at St. Croix, you see it in Africa where they come in, they destroy the land, they make their money and they go out and dip. So it's like, I feel like that's the same issue we all are having. And when it comes down to trying to reach the common people and say, like, how can we all really just team up and together and really put wealth into where we actually are from, I think that would be a different story. Because you look at out here in the States, I mean, like, every other culture but us is is carpooling their interests together. They bring in all the Jewish people, put their money together. Indian people, they put their money together. You got Chinatown, Indian town, but you don't really see no black town, and that's the thing that's what really bothers me for sure. So I think if there was just it's more common people doing it, I think it'll be different, because people like big names, all the celebrities, I feel like they'd be doing that shit for Poppy show. So it's not even like they really care about the middle class, lower people, because we all got the same problem. There's Section 8. What we call Section 8 in the U.S. is just poor in other countries. They don't. That's just a government title. We're all suffering from not having to pay our bills. Not being able to make food for ourselves. So that's a common interest, I feel like. But
So
I agree with you. I agree with you. Go
about
ahead. Go ahead.
because you were talking about just economic struggles in general, right?
all right.
And I've always had this conversation with myself. So, for example, Lawal Dane comes to Sudan. He does this thing, and he's creating jobs for these people. That's all they need. Is if you can create a job and you can create something that can be safe for them and be consistent, would it be great? But then I also have this conflict with me where thinking to myself that does capitalism help Pan-Africanism, and can capitalism work with Pan-Africanism?
Yeah, I mean, because we all need money. I mean, that's what we all bank off of. What's our economic system? Either you want to go to technology, you talk about Bitcoin, or you talk about the regular dollar in whatever your country is. We all need money, because that's how we do our our transactions. We could even trade if we really want to. I mean, but in terms of not seeing people trade properties. They look for money. So if that's how we're going to have to do our transactions, so we have to do. So I think it's important just in general that we find ways to bring our money together. Because like I said, like we went to the casino the other day. All the Asians are there, at one casino table, putting their money together to win the whole table for they all go back on the bus and split that money. It's the same thing. You go out, I was the other day, went to the beauty salon store. They got images of black people on the front, but it's all Asian people in the back of the register. So it's like, if we could put our money together, do what we need to do for ourselves, that would be good anywhere.
I just want to interject, because you brought up a great point about like trading with each other and being collaborative. So within the continent itself, we have the African Free Trade Agreement, but it's not really being enforced. And what that basically was going to do was to make it possible for us to trade like country to country, because right now we're not trading with each other. So you have to go outside and import stuff in, versus being able to, like, I'm from South Sudan, Uganda, let's export goods, like let's work with each other. So how are we, like, when you talk about Pan-Africanism, Africa itself is not collaborating and working together, like, and it's by design, but when are we going to push back and say, hey, like, Africans first, we're going to work with each other, we're going to trade with Ethiopia, which is right there that we border with, versus exporting stuff from outside of the continent. So that is like my next question is like, okay, is it realistic? Because within the continent itself, we are still separating ourselves. Obviously, whenever we were colonized and stuff, we were broken up into different countries, but it has to start at home for us to be like, okay, we're going to go invest in Africa. Right now, if we go invest in Africa, it's very hard to move within African countries. Like, they make it difficult for you to, so.
Yeah,
I think that's
a
great question. Where does it start? Go ahead.
I want to say, I feel like that's where the diaspora gets the seat at the table, because we in America, we have friends from every single country, and so that's not an unfamiliar concept to us. And something that I learned recently, one of my cousins told me, they were like, if you like back home, if you don't know somebody, the chances of you getting, because it's like, I'm gonna help my people first, right? Which is great, but then it creates a division, because if you don't know somebody if you don't know the person who's building the hotel, the chances of you getting a job in that hotel are very low, because you don't know, you're not related to them, you're not from the same tribe as them. And so I think that's where the diaspora, and again, I feel like when we think I think with the whole Pan-Africanism in extremes, nothing works in extremes. If you take a fish and you move them from one water to another that's at a different temperature, they're not going to survive because it's shock therapy.
Yeah.
So I think if everybody gets a seat at the table, as opposed to we come in and we take over because we know what's best. We don't know what's best. There's things at different levels that we won't understand. We may be able to get the bigger picture of we need to work together with all of the countries, but then the people locally will be able to really identify those things that maybe we can use in the big picture. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so
you're Somali. So when we look at Minnesota, where you guys have been able to build a community like a Chinatown, not the Chinese only, like the Hispanics, they have like their little
Their
Mexico.
communities.
They stick together. Indian people
even in
as
Dallas
well.
is like a little Ethiopia.
Yeah, a little Ethiopia, but Somalis have said, okay, all Somalis in the United States, we are going to make Minnesota. I know when I went to Rochester earlier this year, it was like being in Somalia. It was crazy because the the Uber drivers, the restaurant, everything, like you guys all decided to go back home, start businesses, open stuff up. So we want to emulate you as South Sudanese, but if you could speak to like your community and your ability to create that in diaspora.
Again, I think that goes back to what he mentioned, where it was like there's a beauty shop and it's for Black people, but Asians are running it. And so I think they were able to identify. One of the things that, at least from when I was growing up, like we didn't know before we knew Sam's Club and Costco, because that's kind of like a recent thing. But before that, it would be like you had a connecting person. You had somebody who connected the community, the diaspora community, for me, the Somali community, to Sam's Club. Nobody had a Sam's Club membership card when I was young. The owner of that shop had it, and that's where we would shop. But it's just having that support, like saying, you know what, I'm gonna support the people that I want to see succeed, the people that I want to see. And I think that's what started it. Like, who do you want to see win? And so you want to see your kids win, and you want to see yourself win. And so it's kind of recognizing the only way we can win is if we support somebody who looks like us.
Right.
Back home, if you don't know somebody, the chances of you getting, because it's like I'm gonna help my people first, right? Which is great, but then it creates a division, because if you don't know if you don't know the person who's building the hotel, the chances of you getting a job in that hotel are very.
She said this person is a clown behind the keyboard. She has no idea who she's talking to. Just somebody on the internet. She said, you keep typing while I keep working. Our resumes don't compare. Family, what the hell is she talking about? Last I checked, on some old Nipsey Hustle, last I checked, she sells multicultural multicultural kid DVDs. She's a Pan-African, but she got Black kids, white kids, all type of kids, Chinese in her DVD that she sells. What resume? Like, when people say their resumes in the grassroots movement, like, what resume do you have? Like, when I read this, I had to double check that was her channel. I thought somebody, and she even edited some stuff, so she had more stuff to say. She was going off at this person. This person. What did this person say to warrant all that? They said people are reluctant to support you because you flip flop. When I looked at the views of the video, it had 200 views. It had 200 views. Hold on. The video had 200 views. That means, and it was a live video. That means that there's like 7 people watching the live. And she's talking about this work that she's doing, this great work. Where only 7 people can appreciate all this illustrious work. Oh, there we go. I said, where's my hoodie? That wasn't tripping. Um, she told this person, oh, so they said, yeah, nobody's watching. So basically, the person is responding to her video views. They said you got low views because you flip flop. I mean, obviously they was watching my live on her. They're calling her a panderer. They're saying you pander to all your guests. If you got a Freedman on, you're a Freedman. If you got a Freedman hater like Amawali, then you're a Freedman hater like Amawali. If you got a African priest on there, then you're like Jabari, then you're an African priestess, whatever that should. But they're saying like you take on the personality of your panelists or your guests. And then they said, they said they obviously they watched it. They said you spoon feed them questions to gaslight them to say hateful things towards Friedman and FBAs. It says the people are losing faith in you, and it's showing in your views. See, the whole thing was about her views. This commenter was responding to the views she got on her video. They must have been super low. He said, get on code. So he's telling her how to gain her views back. He's saying, just get on code. Like you don't got to sell out to the Pan-Africans, what I call the Pan-Decepticons. She said, I bet your favorite YouTube personalities don't. Wait. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I missed something. She said, our resumes don't compare. She said, you're lucky. I even responded to you, family. We are lucky to have this queen to respond to our comments. So basically, normally she don't respond to comments. She's just so uppity. She's so much of an elitist that she don't respond to comments. But I bet your favorite YouTube personalities don't, I guess, respond to comments. They don't even know your name, weirdo. Well, you didn't know this person's name either, so I don't think anybody know anybody's name. But when I read that, family, before I screenshot that, I had to make sure this wasn't like they always talking about bots. I had to make sure this wasn't a bot account. I said, yo, this is really her. I just couldn't believe that she had that much lack of respect for her own. All right.
In the
I'll
early
be right back. Let me
1500s
run into the
through
bathroom. Be right back.
a colonizer from Spain or Spanish colonizer, and they came to like Georgia and South Carolina, and that's where they settled. And then they brought Black people with them.
Well, there's also some that say that they're indigenous to this continent as well.
There you go.
I've been seeing that as well. Some that say that they are the original Indians or
yeah.
So there's a
Yeah,
lot
so-
of
Exactly. So they think that there's like their history origin started before slavery, and then they fought off the Spanish conquest, and then they settled here in like the Georgia, South Carolina area, and they
they're
started.
foundational. So they feel like their accomplishments, what they've invested into this country through,
They built the
slavery,
country.
helping build the country as well. They feel like we as Africans sometimes say, you guys have no culture, but they're pushing back and saying, yes, we do have a culture. Like, we are foundational Black Americans. Our ancestors, some say came from slavery and some say that they were indigenous. I feel like there's a lot of like dissonance. It's like not everyone is on the same page with that, but they just want their respect and accolades, and they feel like us in the diaspora, whether it be Africans, West Indians, Caribbeans, or anybody else, we don't give them that respect that they deserve. As like everyone's like, I guess, beating down on African Americans
or Black Americans. They call themselves Black Americans.
That is true though, because
Yeah.
there are many Black people, African Americans that are in America, that they are Americans because at the end of the day, they are Americans. You don't go to England and you meet a African British. They're British.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of times it's that in America there's this disconnect where you're Mexican American, you're African American, you're Asian American, but then if you're white, you're just American. And I feel like no, if you're able to trace your lineage all the way to 1700, are you not American? You are American at that point.
And a lot of them
the
have
whole
intermarried, had kids, like,
Yeah.
you know, so.
But I feel like there's very historical facts of Africans actually coming to America before the Europeans. The Europeans were not the first people in America. There's South
Yeah.
America used to connect to Africa. There's a lot of
But they
stuff
feel
like that, so I don't wanna
excluded,
get-
basically. So when we talk about Pan-Africanism,
They
is
don't
it
agree-
going
they
to be
actually don't agree with- they don't agree with Pan-Africanism.
and they shouldn't.
But
I don't think
but
they
it's like you
they
don't
don't
like,
need to.
that history was erased from them. So even if you could trace, even if you could say, yeah, you're from Africa, from where?
Yeah,
You
but
know?
some of it,
There
so
was no
it's not
documentation.
everyone that
I think
pushes
like
back.
I
Yeah,
think it's we as Black people everywhere in the world, we have our local problems, but we don't realize like there's like a connection on a bigger level of why we have these type of problems. And I agree with you, Chris, in terms of like, if we as like Black people everywhere had a level of economic power, which comes with like military power, of course, they're interconnected. Like treatment of Black people anywhere would not be tolerated.
Mhm.
You know, like if we could be like, yo, like for example, like if some countries in Africa were powerful enough, they would send a message to like America with the George Floyd situation and be like, this isn't excuse
You can say,
No,
you
go
finish
ahead.
it. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
yeah, that shit is not
I-
like that shit is not acceptable. We're not gonna accept you guys just shooting Black people off the street, like, and choking them, like it's like, you know, like we're gonna do something about it economically. Like, you know, we're not gonna trade with you, or we're gonna put sanction on you, sanctions and stuff.
Ultimately,
You know,
It's not gonna
ultimately,
happen. We put the
If we had
Japanese
economic power.
in entrapment camp when the Japanese was the largest empire in Asia. So when people talk about the whole of Africa, they don't realize how big Africa is and how many countries there are. So when people are saying, well, if we had an African, a large African country that can tell us, okay, George Floyd did this, it's not going to happen, because at the end of the day, we're fighting our own tribalistic warfare to not even care about what people are coming on in the diaspora. So the whole part of African, the whole thing about it is that as far as connecting is making sure that we in Africa, they have to do better for themselves first. They have to disconnect their dependence on other resources, whether it's from Europe or now coming from China. Until they're able to do that, then we're able to come in there with our knowledge, because once you connect the whole thing with people, they become a disconnect. It's knowledge being transferred back to the continent. That's what it is. It's knowledge, because how you can kind of get the whole economic structure happen is by typically by trade, highway, currency, economic, etc. But
we need a trade
in Africa,
system.
there's, I don't know how many currencies there are. There are multiple currencies.
But wouldn't you say that's
West Africa, they're still using the francs. Even France don't use the francs, but we're still using the francs. The British pound is still being used in East Africa. So the first thing that needs to happen is like, okay, let's set up an interstate highway system, the way Eisenhower set up in America in the 50s. Let's set up a currency, or one currency for the continent. So now the trade is easier, because if you're making coffee in Ethiopia and you want to send it to Ghana to trade for chocolate, you got to trade it to Europe first before it comes to Ghana. So why not just trade directly? And I think that's what it is. A lot of people are thinking of like, okay,
I'm back, family. Let's get back to that damn that message. What I do? All right, must whatever. I must have got rid of it. But let me do a roll call if y'all don't mind. Sound off music. You got a troll in here. All right, you got back 50. Wait. Walter Parrish here. We didn't divide ourselves willingly. Right. You guys are fighting against one another and have all of the resources in the world, but you guys are getting pent for chump change, sir. Right. J Truth. Oh, let me shout out Just Me, Walter Parrish, Timothy, Original Copper, American Sun Energy, J Truth, C Quiz, long time brother. Yeah, So we're trying to find a way where we can notify, where I can notify everybody when I'm live, because I'm seeing people I haven't seen in a while. So I know you're not getting that notification code. So we're trying to find a way when I'm live, we can all be on one code in the chat at one time. Ricardo Flott, Claus Van Dam, Miss Chantel, Mike Friedman, Lord Maul, Taya Tay Carter, Miss D, Six Women's Sports, Just Me. Who else is here? Fresh is Useless, Peace of You, Black Feather, Archery, Peace of You. Tashi D, Mama Jan L in the building. CRU Royalty, FBA Grand Negas is in the building. Fresh Always. Who else is in the building before I proceed? Carrie Wright is in the building. The Mandalorian is in the building. Ursa Mayhan Worlds is in the building. Okay, so sounds of music been trolling a lot. All right. Sounds. We're agents because we're pointing out that you guys are agents. Okay. Who else is in? Oh, we got New Kim in the building. We have Fresh, as usually said, go unite with other Africans first. That's all we ask for. You guys straighten yourself out. They tried with the Pan-African federations of their time in the 1960s, all flop. And you know what's funny? Why is that the first time I heard of it? Why is that the first time most of you heard of it? Why do they hide things like that? It's crazy. That's double LE 44 in the building. Black Wild Indian in the building. Who else is in the building? Salita Marie. And I think we could continue from here. Okay. So now, the moment where Black TV is in the building, 7-Up in the building. Who else is it before I get started? Aki Becca in the building, Golden Brown is in the building. Okay, cool. Let's get to it.
I'm happy. I'm really happy you said that, because currently, I don't know if you're paying attention to what's happening in the internet now, but there's a beef, between Africans and African Americans. One thinks they're better than the other on both sides. And I told people in my platform that, okay, yeah, the beef exists, but I know that the tech companies are pushing this so that they can divide us even further than the extent that we're divided now.
Mm-hmm.
And people are just falling into the traps. And I'm like, guys, we need it. Like, what do you think about the division that is kind of going on right now?
If I were them, I would do the same thing. You got to think like them. See, because when I first started teaching in the Bronx, the cultural backgrounds were such that there were Spanish speaking, people from Puerto Rico for the most part, African Americans, and we had groups. This is back in the 70s, 1979, 80, 81. But what began to happen going into the 90s, going into the 2000s, large groups of brothers and sisters from the continent were coming. Ghana, Accra, they speak Twi. Many people from Guinea-Bissau, from Nigeria, were coming. Many of them were Christian, but even Muslims came from Africa. They started to build mosques where there were never mosques before. And I made it my business to be able to introduce African American culture to them. But at the same time, I celebrated their culture. I remember I met this young lady who was a woman, but she was in my second grade. She was about 7 years old when I had her as a student. Now she's like 32, 33. She has a child. She and her mother were in a supermarket, same supermarket I was in the Bronx. And she recognized me. And she said, "Oh, Mr. Coleman," that was my name before I corrected it. "Oh, Mr. Coleman, you are my teacher." Mother came over to me. They were from Ghana. Mother came over to me and she said, "I never forget you." She said, because my daughter, when she first came to America with us, it was a new culture. You know, she was concerned, a little bit fearful. But you made her proud to be Ghanaian. You made her proud to be Black. You made her proud to be an African by the things that you would tell and you would talk to them about their culture, about where they came from. And the mother now, with her daughter, she said, "I remember the stories you used to tell me about Ghana. I remember how you used to ask me to write certain words like, how do you say hello and goodbye in Twi? You know, how do you say thank you? What is your language? And I had her teach the other students Twi, how to count up to 10 in Twi. I had a student from Nigeria. I had him in the 3rd grade.
All
I
the
taught him
stories
math.
are about trying to make
And I
Africa
remember
great over America. That's just insane.
in the
yeah.
beginning
That's
of the school
insane.
year, I was asking my students,
All of his stories, and this is how most of them talk. Like most of them talk, "Hey, your country is heaven. You African people are worthy of worship." Like this is how they talk to Africans. That's like regular people, like, no smarter than anybody else. There's regular folks in class, in his class, he's claiming. Like they build them up. They build their spirits and their confidence. "Oh, you are kings and queens." Making up shit. Meanwhile, for the Foundation Black American students, they just talk to them like regular people. "Hey, yeah, just go be great." But the African, "Oh my God, let me teach you tweak." All this bullshit. Ghanaians, and they always, always, always hype up Africa and they praise Africans when they speak to them. You heard Umar when he was like shoveling and some kid went to go help him. And when he found the kid was African, he was like, "Oh my God. Oh, have you heard of," like he's asking the African kid, he's like a 1st-gen, 2nd-gen. And he's asking him about like political prisoners in Africa. He's like, "Hell no. I know I don't know. I'm just helping you shovel, man. Relax. I don't worship my homeland like you do," Umar Johnson is.
their name. And he told me his name was Junior. I said, "Junior?" I said, "I know a lot of people from Nigeria. I ain't never met nobody named Junior before." "What's your name?" "It ain't Junior." He said, "My name is Olodokun. Olodokun. Olodokun Igioba." And the teacher said, "Well, I said, "I know it was a little difficult from Nigeria. I ain't never met nobody for the children to pronounce his name. So his father has the same name, so we call him Junior." And so I said, "No, no, we're going to practice his name until we get it right." And so I had all the children practice Olodokun and had to get to kun. Okay, it's not just Olodokun, it's Olodokun. Had them practice that. Practice it until they called him his name. And then I had him explain to us what his name meant in Yoruba. What does it mean? Isn't it?
It means glazing. Like he's glazing the hell out of this person, man. This is ridiculous. Oh, you have an African name. That's so beautiful. Our FBA names are trash, slop, but the African name is so beautiful.
It's not like Charlie. What does it mean? Years later, his mother told me that he graduated from college. He was valedictorian in college. And he had cited me, CITED. He cited me as a person that gave him respect for himself. And
all right, whatever. Hey, family, tell us some FBA stories. Family, we got 125 people watching and barely 70 likes. Really, let's get the likes up. Come on, day crew. Let's get the likes up. This is the Grand Rising crew. Y'all supposed to outdo the night crew. Come on now.
dignity in his name and to love his culture. This is the connection we have to make with each other. I'm done with the divisions. Yeah, we got problems. There are people can't stand me. I know that. But you don't feel towards me.
Spoiler alert, he's gonna spoil, I'm sorry, spoiler alert, he's gonna water down the issues that we're having with those abroad. He's gonna water them down, watch.
Me because you are your culture. It's just that as human beings, everybody don't get along. It's just
He's gonna water it down to a culture war.
that's one of those things. Sometimes people get on your nerves. But we can't let that get in the way of what our people need. Our people need unity. And we respect each other. And if you don't care for me, I understand. I'll stay away. I don't need to be around you. If it's that bad, we can stay away from each other, but we don't do battle with each other because we have a common enemy. And don't ever forget that. I'm not your enemy. And we have to stop fighting amongst ourselves.
Here they go with the common enemy. I mean, family, the only common enemy is what, look, we were sold and bought. The people who sold us see us as an enemy, and the people who bought us see us as their enemy. So the only common enemy is the people who bought us and sold us. That's it. Common enemies. Well,
we have to stop this nonsense argument about who's better. Everybody's better. And it is an African tradition that when I help you, I help me. Because as you rise, I rise. Let's get away from this nonsense. Because those who wish to oppress you wish to oppress me. And their
okay, so why y'all working together to oppress us?
oppression exists when we are divided. We got a problem.
But we've always ever been divided.
Let's go home as a family and discuss our issue. But we don't fight in public. We don't let people know we have division. In all of the presentations I've ever done, my brother Arena, no one has ever heard me badmouth another black man or black woman. And I may disagree with them.
Well, what does that mean, bad mouth? How about just tell the truth and shame the devil?
But if I got a problem, I'll call you up, talk to you personally. I'm not going to do it over the internet. I'm not going to do it on Google. I'm not going to do it on Instagram. If I got a problem with you, I'm going to talk to you personally. And if I don't talk to you, then it doesn't bother me that much. We must stop fighting amongst ourselves. Pan-African or perish. No one group is going to get out of this alone.
Told you. You heard it. out of your own ears, from your own ears, you heard it out of his mouth. They are sold out to Pan-Africanism, these so-called elders.
Yeah.
Alone perish. We must stop fighting amongst ourselves. Pan-African or perish. No one group is going to get out of this alone.
Yeah.
Together.
Together. I always tell people that, and I was one of the people who were really trying to tell people, yo, stop this. In fact, there was the African Americans saying that they were going to boycott African.
So, the boycott. So they do all of this. These are elders with quotations. They do all of this just to glaze Africans who don't deserve our attention or respect. So now he's going to shoot down the boycott. Look.
The African Americans saying that they were going to boycott African shops and African businesses. And I was like, whoa, guys, just let's talk about this. Let's just discuss. And you know, to what.
So he said, let's talk about it. Like, we're just stupid. Like, we're the kings and queens of boycotting, but now we're stupid. Do you know when family? He said, let's talk about it. Do you know when you are planning to protest or boycott, the talking is done? That means there was talking already going on. There were complaints already going on. The protest and boycott, that is the last step, and that's the end of talking. So when people make their mind up to protest, there is no more talking. It's just negotiation. Hey, what we gonna do? And when people want to boycott, there's no more talking. It's either, cater or goodbye. So, but he is gonna, from the outside, he's a man at that, is gonna tell FBA women to hey, if they disrespect you and talk to you a certain way, and you're the customer and you're paying them for a service, and they take they take their clientele for weakness, nothing to talk about. You have the right to not patronize that business. Like, why do we gotta talk about it? Like, if I have an account with Wells Fargo and I did, and I ain't like their service and I didn't, nothing to talk about. I left and gave somebody else my business. Like, yo, we have the right to just leave and go somewhere else. But not when it comes to Africans. We got to talk about this. Like, they are entitled to talk about it. Like, we just can't freely just go or boycott. We got to talk about it. We need their permission to leave.
What you said, and even Europeans, they don't agree amongst themselves. But when it comes to them working together to ensure that there's stability and to ensure that there's prosperity in their borders, that's when they'll come together. I mean, why don't we do the same? Even here in Africa, we have 54 countries, and Congo doesn't mess with Rwanda. This country doesn't mess with this country. Kenyans don't mess with other countries. And I'm like, fine, let's, even Marcus Garvey said we are cursed with petty differences. But can we find a way to come together and reclaim our greatness? I mean, even siblings fight once in a while, but when it comes to
this is an African man quoting Marcus Garvey. I mean, bro, listen, family, if they're not playing with us, that is what better evidence that these guys are playing with us than just that. He's an African quoting a Jamaican who scammed the hell out of us. So that means he didn't look into nothing Marcus Garvey taught or stood for or got imprisoned for. He didn't listen to none of the FBA complaints about Marcus Garvey. But he's using his name, he's using Marcus Garvey's name the same way white supremacists use Dr. King's name to try to get us to relax or get emotional and just side with them. So white supremacists uses Dr. King, and these Pan-Decepticons, they use Marcus Garvey. Interesting. Dr. King versus Marcus Garvey. Very interesting.
but when the house burns, when the family house burns, the siblings will come together with water to pour at the fire to extinguish the fire. So, I mean, if Europeans can do it, and that's why they've been around for a while, is because they know how to separate personal from business. Why don't we know how to separate personal from business, Elder?
That's it. That's it. And learn how to deal with our personal differences. But like I say, I know that we all don't get along. We're human beings.
Yeah, but it don't have anything to do with getting along. It's has everything to do with respect, stay out of our way, and keep our name out of your mouth. That's it. Stop undermining us. That's stop cosplaying. Stop misrepresenting us. Stop over-representing us. That's the point. So for Baba or Kaba, whatever you call himself, to like give this is the same thing they did to James Smalls, Baba Smalls. It's the same thing. James Smalls and him, this guy, like they are not really. You could tell he's not up to speed what's going on, and he's being gaslighted. Hey, same thing they did. Same thing I'm did to Professor Small. He miseducated him about FBA and Tariq Nasheed. Then he made an emotional rant, and then Tariq said, "Hey, let me talk to you." He hopped on with Tariq Nasheed and flip flops. This guy, same way. He really doesn't know what's going on. So he's allowing this guy to gaslight him and for him to give some kumbaya advice. And it just, bro, how about just say this? No, I'm not aware of what's going on. Tell me. And then let him tell his version. But all right, let me look into it. I'll get back to you and let you know how I feel. Like that was a more responsible thing to do. Rather than take this dude's word, hey, Africans think they're better than FBAs. FBAs think they're better than Africans. See, it's 50-50. Nobody's wrong, nobody's right. It's just petty. They just having cultural wars. And look at this guy just smiling because he's a Pan-African and he low-key worship this African. Okay, yeah, we'll play some more. But hope you guys enjoying the live. Got a lot today. Had to make up for yesterday. I was all over the place yesterday. But also family, the super chat does work. And I'm out. You might hear the music in the background. Hopefully you can't get these headphones to block out the music. But if you guys want to contribute to Coffee, Bagel, the Cash App tag is right there. You dig? Let's go.
There's no guarantee that we're all going to like each other. There are certain people.
See, so they're watering down to like each other. Like, yo, what are we doing? Like, so we don't have no cause. Like, we're just bored out of our mind. When you say things like this dude, Kaba, he's totally clueless of FBA stance, of Adolf stance, of Friedman stance. He's totally clueless. Mike Freeman says he has to be an agent. You can't believe the crap he's saying. I'm telling you, yeah, I'm starting to agree with that more and more. The Holy FBA Codex TB1 said a lot. Like, yo, a lot of these guys are sold out. They sold out, man. They're old. They gave up. They just sold out. I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired of, okay, Africans, you win. You got it. I'm going to sell my people to you. So everybody want to buy us and sell us.
Of same culture don't like each other. But we're still family.
And this is what the Africans believe. So let me say their mind state. Because Amawala did the same thing with Professor James Smalls. Like they think that these elders are our leaders. So these Africans, they think if they can convince the so-called elders to get on board with Pan-Africanism and push it, they think like mindless dummies will be like, the elders said it. Let me go ahead and believe it. Let me follow Pan-Africanism. Like that's what they want us to do. That's what they believe we'll do. They don't understand that the lineage is the code. The code is the leader. Matter of fact, they don't understand this reality right here. Hold on. I gotta play this. They don't understand They don't understand this reality. Family. Dan, can I find it?
Solve our problems. Deal with our issues. And there will be people that will not do the right thing. There will be people that will turn on you. Know who they are too. But don't let them instigate you to turn against somebody else. Because you may not have a problem. Bob Marley has a song, he say, your best friends can be your worst enemies. And your worst enemies can be your best friends. Critical thinking. Critical thinking. Get the emotion out. We've been hurt, Brother Orina. Those at home and abroad. We've been hurt badly. And from generation to generation, for some of us, that hurt has been passed down from generation to generation, be it colonization or enslavement. We're hurt. And I understand that.
So, I mean, this is just disgusting where they can water down our reality. We're just hurt, and we're like delusional. We're making up things. We're seeing things that's not really there. We're looking too deep into things. It's not we're Africans, we're cosplaying Africans, we're cosplaying Caribbean people. What they're doing, undermining us, speaking against a reparations claim, trying to tag themselves into it, trying to make it a global reparations claim. That's in our imagination. Trying to make it race-based as opposed to lineage-based. That's in our imagination. That's what he's basically saying right now. Like, we're just traumatized and we're just looking too deep into it. Just relax. Don't fight it. Let these Africans lead the way.
And I can look past that. I'm going to protect myself, but I'm going to look past it because I know you're hurt. And the reason why you're saying that to me is because you're hurt. Because I didn't do nothing to you for you to say something like that to me or to treat me a certain way. I've been very disrespected by people who have come to America from outside. They've done things that are not very nice. But I also know people like you. And I have faith that the good folk that know, I have so many associations with brothers and sisters that are family. Wherever an African is, Africa is. And wherever Africa is, I'm home. No matter, you're my family, Orina.
Look, he loving to hear that shit. Look, he about to smile. Then Kaba, take your ass to Africa, man. We're getting tired of you guys bigging up Africa like this is a beautiful place and you stay here in America. And we're tired of Africans saying how beautiful it is and they bring their ass to America. That bait and switch ain't gonna work. Will says, sweet looking ass. Ricardo Fly said, Ron, he actually thinks he's cooking. You're... Oh my God, right. Like he's cooking to an African. Right, but you're right. Like he's outdated. The dude needs to just sit down, bro. Like what we're doing, this is for new thought. This ain't for old thoughts. It's a new day, new people, new movement, new ethnonym. Everything about what we're doing is new. New grassroots, new push, new civil rights movement. Everything we're doing is new. All that old thinking is gone. Pan-Africans had over 100 years to do something constructive. Absolutely not.
I see you as family. I see you as blood tie. I see you as melanin tie. And there are many from Puerto Rico, República Dominicana, Haiti.
Yeah, what is this guy? Is he Puerto Rican? This guy started busting out Spanish fluently and shit.
Puerto Rico.
That's another thing. That's another thing, family. Like we be automatically believing the FBA because they've been in our circles for so long cosplaying that we just embrace them as FBA. This dude just bust out fluent Spanish.
And there are many from Puerto Rico, República Dominicana, Haiti, Mexico, Ecuador, Brazil. Same way. There are some that are not very nice, but most are very nice. I'm not going to let the ones that are starting the trouble get in the way of the ones that mean no harm and only mean good. And we have to think that way and not get caught up in the emotion of division.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God.
And is it true? Because, I always say this, white supremacy is a global institution. And the reason why they've been around for a while is because they understand the power of amalgamation. They understand the power of uniting amongst themselves. And that's why they've been around for a while. Now, the problem with us Black people is that we are divided. And that's why I say Pan-Africanism is the only kryptonite to white supremacy, because you defeat, this isn't back in the day, David versus Goliath. You defeat Goliath with another Goliath. A giant with another giant. That's what I always say, Elder.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's the only way, and it's internal. The battle on the earth that we're facing, the greatest enemy to the human family.
You can't find out anything about
no matter
this
you
dude.
white, you black, whatever. The greatest enemy is ignorance. There's two types of ignorance. There's the ignorance of not knowing, and there's the ignorance that you know,
His name was
but
Booker
you ignore.
Paleo Coleman Jr.
You
Okay,
know
so he was born in New York,
but you
but
ignore.
that's already some flags there, family. 70 years old, born in New York.
Ignorance, both types. Ignorance gives birth to twins. Fear, false evidence appearing real.
I want to know his background.
FEAR, false evidence appearing real. And the other
There we
twin is
go.
denial. They live in
His
denial.
minor was in Caribbean Studies, June
They deny
77.
their fear.
The hell?
And in denying that fear comes another emotion called hate.
Yeah, we be embracing these dudes at the FBA, and they
That's
don't
why I
even
said they
do
don't
dudes
hate you.
Caribbean or something.
They fear you. And as long as they can feel superior to you, that's the false evidence.
His minor was in
that's
Caribbean
appearing
Studies.
real. Because
Who the
I
hell
wrote a book, Carbon Before Melanin.
Yeah.
And
family, how much?
In scientific reality, there is nothing superior.
Family, I seen enough where I think old boy is definitely non-FBA. 100% non-FBA. Yeah. Bronx, no. He's not, like, he got to say the fact that we don't even know for sure, like, no, I'm good on him. Dude is non-FBA for sure. I'm thinking. I'm leaning that he's not even FBA. Like he's definitely not.
About white. Scientifically, white is the absence of melanin.
Oh, shit.
But we should also listen to the right elders, because not all elders, by the way, elder, let me tell you, not all elders are like.
This is your time to develop yourself.
So now he's speaking to us. He's speaking to FBA.
To make decisions.
Yes, Mike Freeman, all Pan-Africans are a suspect, every last one of them. Because the question is asked, is like, why? Like, what dream world are you in? Like, why is that even a religion that you're embracing?
Have the power. You have the power. Set your agenda for what you see is best for the society. Base it on truth, justice, balance, harmony, order, arrangement.
All right, man, I'm done with this guy. This guy just saying the most random shit ever. What she got to
Y'all
say?
are not tired of these brain dead diaspora wars. Okay, let's get into it. Before we even start, happy Independence Day to Nigeria. Okay, happy Independence Day. So, what are we talking about in this video? I'll keep my ting brief. Okay, I'll keep my ting very, very brief, because I feel like I lose brain cells every single time I entertain conversations about diaspora wars because they are legit brain dead. So, we're not going to spend too.
And all this, all this means to me is that they don't want to be held accountable. Like when they downplay what they call it diaspora wars, but when they downplay it, to me, that just means that they don't want to be held accountable. They don't want to entertain what we're saying and what we need them to do, how they need to be checked. They like, I don't want to be checked. I don't care. I'm gonna do my own thing. I don't care if it piss you guys off or we're tethered. We don't care. We're gonna do our thing. We don't want to talk about it. Oh well. Like that's pretty much their take on this whole thing. Like they don't want to understand what we're saying. They don't care to understand. And they're like, listen, man, we're independent. You know, we don't need to know what you're saying. Like we don't come here to do nothing with you to, you know what I mean? So there's no benefit to them.
Too much time talking about it. But before we get started, first and foremost, happy Independence Day to Nigeria.
Right. Great assessment. Fresh is useless says it's only diaspora war when we respond. Right. We're being quiet is, you know, he's not an elder, he's an intruder, scam African. Yeah. The dude is definitely not an FBA. Speaking on FBA, which is wild to me.
Nigeria, shout out to the motherland. I hope y'all are celebrating and turning up. All right, so what are we talking about today? First off, we're talking about Tiwa Savage and Tyla. If it's one thing the Breakfast Club is good for, it is drama and mess. And I don't know how people still walk into all of the traps. Like, come on, y'all. Come on. You know what it is when you go on the Breakfast Club. It's going to be drama.
So a trap is for Tyla to explain her identity, her ethnonym, her race. That's a trap. Okay.
You got to be smarter. You got to be smarter, okay? Because Charlemagne the God, if it's one thing Charlemagne the God is really good at doing, and that's why he is so good at his job, he's good at getting people to drop their inhibitions, and it didn't work with Tyla. It worked with Tiwa Savage, and we're definitely going to talk about that in the video. And the second thing we're going to talk about is some people's response to Sexy Solon, which is Mona Leah's new song. I am personally enjoying it, okay? I've been bopping.
Look at that flag, family. Look at that beautiful flag. Black American heritage flag, not the African booger flag.
That song. However, have some people tell it I can't enjoy that song and listen to it because I'm not African American or Black American, although that's what I regard myself as, Black American.
Why would you regard yourself as that if you just said you're not it? That's the part. That's that part.
Even though that song, Leah's new song, I am personally enjoying it. Okay, I've been bopping that song. However, have some people tell it I can't enjoy that song and listen to it because I'm not African American or Black American. Although that's what I regard myself as, Black American, even though I'm first generation Nigerian American. I don't know. Let's get into it.
Right. That's the problem right there. Cosplaying. That's the part right there. Family, we are more than 40 likes away. And come on now. The more y'all like, y'all already know how to go. The more people like the video, the more folks get the notification they didn't get the first time. So I'm already being shadow banned or whatever's going on that nobody's getting notification. So to help them get the notification, you guys got to hit the like button. This is how they get the notification. So yeah, we are over 40 likes behind. Let's hit that notification button so people can get the notification to hop in and you know, have fun with us cooking.
Welcome back if we've been locked in. My name is Sasha, and today we're talking about.
So she just said she's a first generation Nigerian and she's calling herself African American. Hilarious.
My least favorite topic to talk about because it is so annoying. However, I do think there is value in having these conversations because when you actually talk to real people, real humans, you will see that a lot of these diaspora wars are manufactured beef from bots, people who are bored and chronically online who don't.
So we're bots. What we have to say doesn't matter. The cosplaying is fake. Everything that we're talking about is just they just throw it in the trash. And if you invite her, if I invite her to the show, she's not gonna come. Now she just made this video. Of course you're gonna say no. Because they love to talk about us, but they hate to talk to us.
Don't contribute anything but like seeing drama and chaos because chaos excites people. I talk so much about rage bait on my channel and even on my TikTok. I don't know if it's something that I want to become a part of my brand per se, but I do want my brand to do, what I want my videos to do is to A, give you a little laugh, but B, encourage you to think a little bit deeper and not be hooked by your first emotional response, but to take a beat, pause, reflect, and then answer and then speak. So that gets into
right. Never talk about their homeland ever.
The first topic of today's video.
Yeah, that's right. That's WLE44. Get them on the alligator Alcatraz. Walk the plank.
Which is Tiwa Savage apologizing on behalf of Tyla and Tyla.
All right, okay. But anyway, I'm done with her. She's not really, she's rambling. All right. Should we go? I think I should go here now. Yeah, let me go right here now. I think it's time.
Who represent very different ethnic backgrounds and more importantly, the African diaspora. So, I mean, I have two words for you all today, diaspora wars. Like, what do those words mean?
I think for me, it just means the
family.
Hit
the like button so other family can get the notification to hop on and join us. Baby Rodriguez, FBA Combo.
Where we come from, about who we are. And I think
songwriter Sunny.
That we live in now, we've all inherited.
Hit the like button so our family can get notified because for whatever reason YouTube ain't sending it out.
Untangling that in our own like weird Gen Z millennial way.
I think something that's really important is learning from each other and making sure that we're all constantly understanding that we're all reflections of the same ancestor. We're all basically the same.
Yeah, why it just can't be an honest conversation? Why they always got to say, hey, we're all the same ancestry, all these lies. Why we just can't have an honest conversation about this, man? Why does it come to lies, the kumbaya shit? Come on.
In our own like weird Gen Z millennial way.
I think something that's really important is learning from each other and making sure that we're all constantly understanding that we're all reflections of the same ancestor. We're all basically the same culture. We all just express.
We're the same culture? What are you talking about, man? They said we don't have culture, so how are we the same culture?
It differently, but Latinos are Latinos in Africa and the Caribbean, in New York. Like, we are all one and the same. So I think exposing each other or ourselves to one another and learning how we're all connected is something that's really important. Understanding how we can stop the diaspora wars, quote unquote.
I think to stop the diaspora wars, I think it's definitely you have to expose other people to it. But I just traveled to Ghana, and I know like being in that space and actually being in the culture and like seeing what we were taking it from. Because I'm African American, I'm from Chicago. But I have a lot of roots in the South, so like I think, and especially now in the global space, if you look at the history of the Pan-African movement, the thing that stopped them was a lot of like outside forces, but the thing that we have now is like the internet. And
He said the thing that stopped Pan-Africanism, the outside forces. This dude, yeah. I guess if you read Pan-Africanist books from their self-published authors, I guess they will rewrite history and blame the outsider, the government. Okay.
social media and stuff like that, so we can get in each other's like virtual spaces, you know, like folks can talk to folks from anywhere in the world, and you can see those mirrors that she was talking about earlier, because once you see that, you'll just be like, oh yeah, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me, that's me, and you can see like the effect of colonization across the board, and like
oh my God, colonization. Oh, God.
Education is really important too. It's really the great separator in how we understand each other. And when we understand that everybody was kind of thrown in this pit and then thrown all across the world, then we can kind of have a better understanding of like how we can move forward.
I don't think ignorance is new, so definitely social media is playing a new role in it, but it is deeper than I think our modern time. And I'm Liberian, my family is indigenous to Liberia, and I recently learned, so some back history, I believed, and most people in Liberia believe, that the African Americans who traveled back there went there knowing that they were going there to colonize Liberia. And I recently learned that a lot of the people who came from Liberia, a few of the people from actually Baltimore, which is very close to here, were forced onto those ships because the American.
Oh my God. Family, the likes button got better, but we're still down 20.
American knowing that they were going there to colonize Liberia. And I recently learned that a lot of the people who came from Liberia, a few of the people from actually Baltimore, which is very close to here, were forced onto those ships because the American Colonization Society paid for those ships. I'm 22 years old. I learned that a couple months ago. This is not like public knowledge, it's for Liberians to learn.
Oh, good job. Good job. Good information, but go on.
Or African Americans to learn. There was no knowledge of that. So in me not knowing that, in my head, there was a vilification for those Americo-Liberians who, you know, hurt people as recent as my father, who's 60 something years old. So imagine if everybody in Liberia knew that, you know, this like beef we have between ourselves in our little country is like also rooted in colonization.
Our next question, I would say, how do you think that labels, you know, because I know, like you said, in Latin cultures, you know, the word negro, negra, you know, Black cultures, how we confer with ourselves, you know, using different words. How do you think certain titles like light skin, dark skin, you know, prieta, all these things, how do you think that separates us or, you know, maybe unify us? I'm not sure, however you feel.
So I think, I think those different terms that are used specifically in English, and like when you're talking about light skin, dark skin, different labels on different types of Black people and different appearances. I think in English, a lot of times people try to do a direct translation into Spanish and they're like, oh my God, that's so.
Afro Troop says Tarina Sheen promoted Kaba and Umar. I mean, but at that time, there was no concept of a tether. You did. So Tariq was never Pan-Africanist. He knew Kaba was, but he didn't. I don't think none of us understood how much undermining that those guys had in them. You know, because they seemed cool. They talked the blackity black, black, black. So he used the blackity black information for his hidden color narrative. Like he didn't, you know, care for the Pan-African shit. But I think he underestimated like how brutally hateful, these Pan-Africanists towards FBAs. But he learned now. He learned now.
Racist, like why do you guys talk like that and stuff like that. But I think oftentimes there's also differences that I think need to also be appreciated, and even if you don't understand it, like have a little bit of curiosity and do a little digging, talk to somebody, because sometimes there are terms that are directly translated from English to Spanish that are more terms of endearment, and it's not necessarily that I look at you as just black and white, but I look at you,
They're always
especially if there's an issue of like
discussions.
nationalism
They
in
never
different
invite
countries as well, where
FBAs.
like, for example, like you're just Cuban or you're just Dominican. But I think those labels have different
Right,
meanings
Gary.
in different cultures, and that should be looked at as more than just what's racist, what's a slur, and what's
Right, just
not.
me. Ain't no beef.
When you're talking about
You don't
black
want to build with
people,
us.
because it's
Your
only in our community
your
that you see
team,
stuff like that. going on,
SWS.
and that sort of prejudice, but yeah.
So
He said, tether babble liars in training.
So I know you all have probably seen on social media, you know, the beefs, the whoever, you know, whoever you want to put into that. How can we atone for some of that hurt? Because it's not all on social media. You know, I know a lot of you probably heard, you know, a lot of African people say, oh, well, I was called an African booty scratcher, you know, when we were
Stop
in
it.
school. Or
Say
I was
lying.
bullied.
When you was
or
1
y'all
year
treat me
old.
like this. Or an African American person might say, oh, you know, I felt this or that. Those experiences are all so valid, but how do we move forward? How do we atone for the hurt? How do we acknowledge that?
Before
and
staying
move
out of
forward
our
as a community?
spaces, stay out of
I
our
was
way.
exposed to diaspora wars in middle school because I went to elementary school in Namibia, which is where I'm from, and we didn't have diaspora wars in Namibia. But I think that because it started so early, it started like in middle school and high school. I see it here on campus, in person. I think it's a very childish thing to partake in. And people say things out of hurt, right? So I think
Again, watering down everything. We're just hurtful people and we're delusional. We don't really have a good argument. We're just making stuff up because we're hurt.
that if we all take on an attitude of love and remember that
Oh my God.
love, Bell Hooks defines love as like nurturing somebody else's spirit. So if we take into account that we've all spoken to each other in ways that we shouldn't have, and that white people have done that as well, and that it's because of them, and we just try to build community with each other with love at the center, I think that we can move forward.
That's a reason a lot of people come to Howard. It's like choosing HBCU because of the experiences that they've had. And I think just to hold space for each other, you know, everyone says like being black isn't a monolith. So I think when you see someone being black in a different way than you, to like be open to that and to listen to them and that. And I think recognize it
Look
as
at
a
the flag behind
distraction.
him.
You know how 20
Red, black, and green. You already know what type of setting this is.
Diaspora is like also part of that.
I definitely want to build on like the idea of involving love in the solution,
Oh
because
my God.
it's really important to take time to understand like
Love.
how those experiences affected other people or like the people who experienced them, and understanding how that's shifted the way they perceive the world around them, and figure out how maybe we can alter that perception.
These conversations can't go nowhere when nobody wants to be honest. Now it's just love, 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 love. Like, so we're not gonna be honest. We're just gonna love, love, love. Okay.
Like, hey, I understand that you were hurting, but look at what's happening here. Like, look at how we can fix this and build from this and become stronger from this, instead of using that as a platform to continue to hurt one another or continue to perpetuate the quote-unquote diaspora war that's going on.
Yeah, and I would say that love is a very expansive thing. Love comes in two ways, self-love and love for others. And when you even dive into learning more about your own history, you start to discover about yourself. And when you discover about yourself, you're able to better commune with people around you. And so it's such a revitalizing act to dedicate yourself to love yourself, and to love others. And I think that like the ways to come across and to like overcome diaspora wars is to continue to build community. In community, we challenge each other, right? In community, we also mourn together, we cry together, we laugh together, we rejoice together, and we're able to push each other a little bit further. If like I wasn't able to sit in this space and hear about the things that gone down in Liberia, right, and the history behind that, I may have never received that information, I may have never read that book, but because I chose to come into community to speak about this issue, like that was something that was able to be brought to me. And so definitely think that we need to continue to like focus on community and bringing love at the center. And also understanding that when we love, we're helping ourselves and also helping the world.
Yeah. And then, I mean, like you all are saying, the love of it all, understanding that we truly are an African family, that, you know, we're displaced people from many different parts of the world.
Oh boy, displaced people, African Americans. So the only way to unite with them, as you can see, you're hearing it for yourself. The only way to unite with them now is to be African. We just can't be FBA unite. We got to be African. Okay.
Center, and also understanding that when we love, we're helping ourselves and also helping the world.
Yeah. And then, I mean, like you all are saying, the love of it all, understanding that we truly are an African family, that, you know, we're displaced people from many different parts of the world, and, you know, really recognizing that. So I guess my last question for you all today would be, I mean, you all chose to go to an HBCU, the premier HBCU, Howard University, you know? So, I mean, how big of a role do you think that has played into your, you know, understanding of yourself, understanding of others around you, like how y'all been speaking of? And then would you encourage the next generation to follow in the steps you have? And like, do you think those opportunities would be for them as well?
Yeah, I can go first. I was born and raised in Queens, New York City. New York is the most segregated school system in the entire nation, and so I was often the darkest person in the classroom. In my middle school yearbook, people wrote to me telling me that I should go back to picking cotton, and I've experienced the microaggressions up and down the list, being in those predominantly white spaces, being deemed an academic person, an intellectual person, top class, honors, gifted and talented. But all of those ideas really contributed to me trying to liken myself to whiteness. As an Afro-Dominicano, I definitely was one of the Dominicans that was like, I know black, I Dominican. And coming to an HBCU and also wanting to come to an HBCU was something that I wanted to be able to really understand more of my African roots and what does that mean for me and what is the linkage between.
Oh my God, bro, go study all your African roots all you want, but that don't mean that you are of the lineage. That don't mean that you have something in common with FBA other than you just looking like one of us, sort of. But nah, that doesn't work anymore. Like that mushy stuff, oh, we're all the same skin, so we're the same kin. That's out. That's out.
Afro-Latinidad, you can be African and you can be from a Latin American country. Black people speak Spanish, y'all. And so just being able to do.
Now he's black, but let's check his forms out where he applied for things and put his ethnic. Yeah, let's look at his license. Okay, I bet you black and I don't want none of that shit.
Like just being able to come to an HBCU has been so monumental for me. And with I've had the privilege and opportunity to serve as the president of the Afro-Latinx org here on campus. The name of the org is Shango. And being able to just usher in an era of programming wherein we're building community, centering love, and really trying to raise awareness about our culture is the most beautiful thing that we've been able to do. I would have only been able to do that at an HBCU. I didn't want to go to PWI to fight. I didn't want to be a part of the.
Right, his African roots has nothing to do with HBCU. This guy talking about
just the Latino Students Unidos and the Black Student Union. I wanted to find a place where I can be both, and both would be celebrated. And I think that being in community with other people also brings you indifference. And so, just as if you come to an HBCU, you'll learn about things that you've never seen. You'll talk to people from cultures that you've never experienced, and you'll also be in community with people.
Let me pause there. I'm getting, he's driving me crazy. What does this guy got to say?
Africans have failed the black community, bruv. That's which is why sometimes when I hear black Americans coming against Africa, I don't really blame them as much. I genuinely don't. Sometimes. Now, sometimes they talk shit and it's like, okay, bro, enough. But in general, I'm like, no, I don't really, I understand black America. Because the reason I give black Americans grace is because of what they've been through. You understand? They've been through a lot. See, a lot of people don't even understand what black Americans have been through. And not just that, black Americans are still living with the oppressors. You understand? So it's not just like, okay, the oppressors are going to hands off. No, the people that tormented you are still living with you. And they are still tormenting you to, like, right there. You understand? I'm not justifying that. All I am saying is,
justifying what?
All I am saying is the oppressor is still there. So that's why for me, black Americans, I focus more on Africans, and sometimes I talk about black Americans, but I feel like us Africans, we failed. We failed. We have failed.
Bruh, start with you selling this. You failed from that point. There's no rebounding from that without reparations.
Richard, you have to understand how America works. When it's time to do bad things, they use a black face. Richard, he wasn't the one advocating it. It was the US government telling him to go and do their dirty work. Richard, you have to understand. If you look at American international politics, anytime is to do negative thing, they always put a black person there. The American ambassador is always black. The military person is always black. The Secretary of State is always black or mixed. Never white though. You understand? Anytime it's like him. Guys, if Barack Obama was a white guy, us Africans would hate that guy. Do you know the damage Barack Obama did to Africa? I don't like Barack Obama. I don't like that guy. He fucked up Africa, guys. But because he's black.
That's called escapism.
By the way, he's not black.
Escapism.
Barack Obama is not black. He's mixed race. Mixed race people are not black. They have two people in them. I'm going to say this again.
He won't be black
if
anyway.
Barack Obama was a white guy, we Africans would hate that guy. Barack Obama played a critical role in the destabilization of Africa that we see today. You understand? He's not black. It doesn't matter if he looks black. He's not black. He's biracial. He's mixed. He's both black and white, and that's not black. That's biracial. Mixed people are not black. I'm black.
No, you're not. 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 Give them some straightening.
I'm black. But if you've got black and white parents, you are biracial. You're mixed. That's it. And that's okay. You have both black and you have both white in you.
World's best freighter in the
but don't claim black.
Mandalorian. Golden Brown.
I don't care what the Republicans say. He's not one of us, bro.
He's not
one of us.
Oh yeah, dude, you're not one of us, Lord. You one of both of y'all are one of them.
They're not black. I don't call mixed people black as well. You're biracial. And that's not
you don't get to determine that at all, bro. And that's the issue we're having with these folks. They're coming into something and trying to redefine it. Like, dude, you don't set the requirements for who's who. That's what we do. And you didn't make the cut.
It's not an insult. That's nothing wrong though. But why do people make it look like it's an insult? It's not an insult, but it's a fact. If you have two races in you, how can you be black? You're not black, bro.
I don't know what this guy's talking about, but being Black American, you're gonna have a whole bunch of shit in you.
Am I lying? Am I lying? I'm not lying.
Yes, you're lying.
Freddie Tech, what's up? Freddie Tech says his father is black, so he's kind of one of us. He's not
Have you seen a typical Black American 23andMe? There's gonna be a lot of countries in there.
one of us. He has our ancestry, sure, but he's not one of us. He's not one of us.
This dude said he's not one of us. I don't know what audience he's speaking to, but bro, if you're speaking to the audience that I'm speaking to, you're definitely not one of us either.
Us. I'm not. People are reacting as if I'm talking. He's not black. He has black in him, but he also has white. Like me, I don't have white in me. I'm black. I'm a black dude. I'm a Bantu guy.
Wait, who? He said, what? Say it again?
Has white like me. I don't have white in me. I'm black. I'm a black dude. I'm a Bantu guy.
Right. So you're not black. You're Bantu.
I'm pure West African blood. You understand?
Right. That's what you are. That's exactly what you are.
That's me. I'm black. I'm a black man through and through. You get me? Yeah. I remember a question. Sorry. Advice for black professionals in Europe dealing with challenges. Like I said, Vital, you have to tell me what those challenges are. But if you need me to just give you general advice, I can give you general advice. Just let me know what you would like me to say, okay? But one advice I can give in general, if you're a black professional, even in America, right? You have to understand that when you are in a predominantly non-black space, you will be tested. That's a fact. People are going to come for you. People are going to question. People are going to question you.
Get you something.
People are going to directly and indirectly question your skills. People are going to directly and indirectly question who you are. It looks just like don't. But my advice is this: don't crash out. Don't crash out. If you're a black professional watching this, the advice I can give you is you have to understand the reality. Number one. Like Freddie just says, racism, bigotry, prejudice. We all have prejudice. I have prejudice as well. Let's be honest. We all do. Nobody's free of prejudice. We all have prejudice.
Now, this is his excuse.
You have to understand as a black
we all have prejudice. Like, what does that got to do with y'all hate for us?
And this is something I practice in my
cosplaying, misrepresentation.
You have.
This dude said he's black. Oh my God. What? Yeah, he just brainwashed himself.
To become so good that you cannot be ignored. That's it. Because you have to understand how these things typically work. A black person has to work 3 to 5 times harder to get half the recognition a white person would.
But he's hell bent on that. He's hell bent on lumping himself in with FBA. Okay. He clearly didn't get the memo about delineation. He definitely didn't get that memo. Like, I wish he understood that, because he'll realize that, bro, you're wasting your time right now. You're so behind, bro. These folks gotta update their information. Dude, you gotta keep up with time, bro. There's something called delineation and self-identifying, bro. You're not black.
And even when you get that,
we're black. That's why you banned too, bro. You're not black. This song right here is not for you. This song is for us. This song is for us only. This ain't for you, buddy. That's why I made this song. In my Umar voice, hit the cash app, family.
Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. 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 Say it loud, I'm not ashamed. ashamed of being black. Black Panthers, Black Wall Street, Black Power, Black Love, Black Man, Black Woman, the Black Dollar, Black Love. I'm not African, I've never been to Africa. I'm never going to Africa, no ancestor from Africa. We're Black American, but don't forget the foundation of say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. 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 Say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud.
And this one right here.
We fight, we really fight. From the red that we was, it was, it was, it was rising about once blood on our rise. We fight, we really fight. We fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary wars, civil wars, civil wars, it's about rights. We're living our rights.
Yeah, we fighters. I don't know what he talking about. This us stuff.
We really fight.
You ain't part of us, bro. We really fight.
We really fight. From the revolutionary wars, civil wars, civil wars, was about rights. We're living our rights. We fight. We really fight. If it's all love, then why did the diaspora war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you act like it more and more. We fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary wars, civil wars, civil wars, was about rights. We're living our rights. We fight, we really fight. We fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary wars, civil wars, civil wars, was about rights. We're living our rights. We fight, we really fight. If it's all love, then why did they ask for a war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you act like it more and more. If it's all love, then why did I ask for a war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you act like it more and more. We fight, we really fight. From the revolutionary wars, civil wars, civil wars, was about rights. We're living our rights. We fight, we really fight. If it's all love, then why did I ask for a war? If it's all love, then why isn't it love you're asking for? If it's all love, then why aren't you practicing it more and more? If it's all love, then we're asking you act like it more and more. They've always had a system. They've always had a system. Hoes it acting system. General order for resistance. HOLC system. Robin's airport system. Resistance. Black Wall Street resistance. DR New Deal assistance. Granddad of executive order resistance. Home status system. We always have sisters. Homestead ecosystem. General order for the resistance. HOLC system. Robin's era resistance. System. Black Wall Street resistance. FDR new real assistant. Went off executive order resistance. Early Saint we like no respiration. Early Saint women with respiration. Early 90s, early 90s, we were black and beautiful. We like no respiration. Early Saint women with respiration. Early 90s, every nigga rooster. Early 90s, we were black and beautiful.
These songs are Tether's Nightmare.
General order for her resistance. HOLC resistance. Harbin's airport assistant. Say it's transcend. Black Wall Street resistance. Eddie R. Newton Buell distant. Philip Randolph executive order resistant.
All right, let's get back to this Tether and throw some music at you. The Tethers, they might linger for the show, but they ain't gonna stay for the music. Right? And all the Decepticons that was in the chat ain't liking the video. Goodbye.
Recognition, you're going to be questioned ultimately. Like, America is a perfect example, right? But my advice to the black professionals in Europe is understand the reality, but don't let it define you. You understand? One thing that the way I live my life is I refuse to live my life in anxiety. No. Life is too short. Life is too short. Life is too stressful already to not be happy, to not trust myself, to not be in a good mood. Hell no. I'm not doing that. And you have to understand, anytime somebody is having issue against you, for the most part, it has nothing to do with you. It's them. Hi, Cecile, I'm doing fantastic. It's them. It's not you. You understand? If somebody is going out of their way to be mean to you, it's usually them. They have their own issues going on. You understand? Richie, that's a fact, bruv. That's a fact, man. And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. One of the biggest issues plaguing Africa right now is we have enemies on all fronts. That's the thing plaguing Africa. We have enemies from all fronts. Oh yes, we have external enemies. We also have internal enemies. So it's
most of your enemies are internal. That ain't talking to me. It's yourself. But yeah, you can't get out your own way to go address a foreign enemy, an external enemy. All your enemies are internal. Mostly, 90% of your enemies are internal. That's what I'm talking about, bro.
It is double complicated, even. It is double complicated.
That's him trying to make himself victim, bro. All of your problems are yourselves, bro. 100%. It's all you. You're the reason why Africa ain't shit. It's people like you want to blame everybody else. It's you, brother. It's you. Where's the hard work at home?
Complicated because now we have enemies within and enemies outside. So we have people coming from all angles. And one of the issues facing Africa right now is we have our presidents, our politicians that are supposed to be fighting in our corner.
Right,
They are not.
Exactly. You see? So it's you. It's you.
And that's why Ibrahim Traore is so loved. There's a reason
why he ain't do shit.
Reason why Ibrahim Traore is so loved. I mean, I have seen black people globally. I'm talking.
Wait. So Africa is united now, all of a sudden, for Ibrahim Traore? No, you're not. You guys are still divided, and you guys still ain't link up with him. And you got ECOWAS, you got the Sahel Alliance, you got different gang banging countries. Y'all nowhere near on one accord.
people that didn't even know where Burkina Faso was, people that have never been to Africa before. You have people that have never even been to West Africa, all supporting Ibrahim Traore. Why? And I said it in a previous video. The reason why Ibrahim Traore is so beloved is not because he's perfect. We know something else is good. We all know nobody's perfect. But the reason why he's so beloved across Africa is because, across the black community, not just Africa, is because for the first time in our lives, including my life, we are seeing a black leader, a black African leader fight in our corner. That's it. That's why. That's why, guys. Am I lying? Like, I can tell you, I'm 30 years old. I have never in my 30 years of living before Ibrahim Traore seen an African leader fight for me. I've never seen it, man. I've never seen that shit.
Yeah, this is the most glazing that you can do. How did that help Africa? How did that help African countries get together and unite? Like, this is ridiculous glazing.
Some of our parents, they've never even seen it too. I mean, some of them, they knew Kwame Nkrumah, he got bite. They knew Sankara, he got bite. Before Nelson Mandela, there was another guy, Steve Biko, he got bite.
Right, he's not even 30.
To me, Steve Biko has more clouds to me than Nelson Mandela. But then again, I'm just a guy speaking on his opinion on the internet. That's just me, though. You understand? That's to me, though. We don't know what it feels like to have leaders fight in our corner. So when we see Ibrahim Traore, everybody's like, no, protect this guy, protect him. And it's true. Because he's all we've got. Is it Tinubu that'll come and fight for me?
All right. I think I'm gonna save what I got. I got some more bull stuff like this later. Let me see.
Where's the boo? I want to see that boo. No, let's be for real. Wasn't it Tinubu that was talking about, oh, we may be hungry, but we can manage our hunger? Man, fuck you. We may be hungry, but we can manage our hunger. Nigga, fuck you. Manage with hunger. Are you mad? Are you mad? People are dying on the streets talking about we can manage our hunger. Like, you see what I mean? This is the reality of the average African. Our leaders being so fucked up in the head.
Right. So stop acting like you have external forces. All of your fight and issues are internal, bro. It's your own people selling you out. Stop it.
Manage with hunger, sir. For real. Do you guys know how expensive things are in Nigeria right now?
The language. Now all of a sudden, Nigeria's expensive, bro. It cannot be. People make $2 a day, my boy. Wrong channel. Wrong channel. People make $2 a day. Stop.
No, it is bonkers.
Right, Carrie, right. Like, these guys are bragging about Ibram Traore. These are the same guys trying to take him out. Well, like you said, the white, the little white crumbs.
It is bonkers. And your own president is now talking about how you can manage your hunger. Yeah? That's what I'm talking about. Hey, V, brother, what's up? You good, bro? You understand what I mean, guys? That's what I'm talking about. That is why Ibrahim Traore is so popular. Because for the first time, a lot of us are seeing what 11 killed after Kenya police shoot at anti-government protesters. Nationwide rallies mark the 35th anniversary. Man, 11. That's just, I think, today. Activists are being killed in Kenya because of viral fragile ego. Man, crazy. That is wild, man. That is wild, man.
Right. And yeah, I was gonna say that, Carrie. He's not the first. Like he's like the last. He's like the last African leader to do what he just did. He's like the last, but that's not even like a win. I mean, that's not something to get behind and pray. You know, it's let's see what happens. Like so, like what now? Like he had been quiet ever since he got recruited in Russia. Nobody heard nothing about Ibrahim Traoré since then.
Yeah, that is wild. That is wild. That is wild shit. Nah, it's wild. He also wants Bill Gates to take over. Man, this guy. Ruto. He don't care for the people. He don't care about the people, bro. He don't care about the people. That's weird. Rwanda president. Again, like I said, I don't know much about East Africa. So I hear Kagame and Congo. I know there is beef. Of course, I know the surface level between Rwanda and Congo, but I don't know the deep. I don't know the detail. Like,
so he wants to unite the 54 countries, and he's part of the countries, and he know nothing about that part right there. Be killing him. These guys don't know shit about Africa themselves. He just said it.
Kenyan or Congolese, a Rwandan would know. I don't know. I think this guy, Patrick Rules, he specializes on more East African, South African politics. So I sometimes tune into him. I don't know if you guys know Patrick Rules. I think he's special. Again, maybe I'm wrong, but I see he specializes more in East African politics, Southern African politics. He knows more about that for sure. So me, I'm more West African, more like global. Man, let's see. M Square says, I've had quite a lot of experiences with white co-workers and their passive aggressiveness and sabotage. Bruh, listen, man. Luckily for me, I've not had to deal with that shit because I typically work in very, very small teams. And now
let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. All right, so let's go to this troll right here.
Like I said, to answer your question, that was around like what, 2019ish when he first started talking about the phrase.
When you look at foundational Black American, right, and yourself as a foundational Black American, how do you see that fits in with the multicultural society of America? Do you see as a form of separation, as identification? This has nothing to do with Tariq perceptions or none of that. I'm asking from your personal views, because I'm just trying to see what got you into going in the foundational Black American, because we're going to talk about one of the videos that you sent me. I seen one of the videos where you got in a conflict with someone that looked like he's possibly Mexican American or whatever the case may be, and you mentioned you're foundational Black American. So I'm asking, like, what is your true concept? Is it just many people just say, if you watch my show from the beginning, it's a lineage, but they really don't attach much to it. What is your concept?
I look at it like you say.
What is there to attach to it? It's lineage. That.
Like, I look at it as a lineage. I personally look at it like that, man. As far as I'm concerned, I'm from here, man. Nobody in my family on either side, this is not me hyping or capping when I say it, nobody that I know of in my family whatsoever has immigrated from anywhere, as far as I know, and I have hundreds of family members, like I said, all my family's from right here in Virginia. Right. So it's like, that's something I can identify with when we talk about the descendants of slaves. My family is from down in Orange and Madison, Virginia. We're talking about down where, this is like the area where, not in those exact areas, but like in that same region where, Kunta Kinte was from, So I that's something I can believe in what that's intended to represent when we talk about these things in a positive way. Neglect anybody else's, whoever coined the phrase's opinion of it or anything like that. That's something that I can identify with. Just like, I don't know. There's a lot of things that I can, I agree what it's intended to represent. Just like you were talking about on your episode the other day. it's nothing wrong with representing that. There's nothing wrong with representing,
But back to the original question: how does it function in this multicultural society that we come to?
The people who are normally obsessed with treating my shit the most are older men, but I have seen, but most of the people obsessed in love with treating she are older men.
Living, how does that operate? Because it seems to in one regard, the aggressiveness that I hear from FBA is basically, it sounds like, separate, focus on us, but then
you call that aggression? That's just assertiveness. Yeah, what's wrong with that? Yeah, we want to focus on ourselves, get our stuff right, build great relationships within the lineage, get on code, and then we can better serve somebody else, or somebody can better serve us.
But then it's like you're going to give us something. You know what I mean? Like the aggressiveness that you hear from, especially on Twitter. Let me say Twitter.
The dude sound like a white guy, aggressive. So black men, black women be assertive, stand on all 10. All of a sudden, the angry black man say, "Nah, I'm just confident, I'm assertive, I'm just about my business." Oh, the angry black man, like that's how he sounds. That's how he sounds.
Twitter. On Twitter, oh my goodness. It's like every post is about a tether. Every post is about, a foreigner.
Yeah, we call him Taharka Doodlebag, because he be saying, "What do you do about it? You don't have a dude, so Taharka Doodlebag."
Not every post, but you understand what I'm saying. How
I
does this
understand
operate?
exactly what you're saying.
Yeah, how does this operate? Is it one way and not the other? Is it coexisting?
Right.
If you can explain.
Jason something he said.
Man, I understand exactly what you're saying. There's a lot of goofy.
They had a shield around the city. They get it. Their city, that's what they own. They could have done more to help their own country. I'm still not mad at them.
Ballness and pretty much any, I don't want to say group because it's not a group. You know what I'm saying? It's always some bullshit. Excuse my language. When we talk about the Nation of Islam, the Moorish Temple, I'm sure you done ran into your share of fools and idiots. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. It's the same thing with anybody with FBA. As far as how it fits into the normal society, I'm gonna say just like how you were saying the other day. I don't think anybody really knows what FBA is. You know what I'm saying? I know that we know. I know that the folks who know, but
they don't want to know. They know what it is. They know what it is, and to them it's just so simplistic. Like, they gotta be something we can attack, something tangible. You can take, break it, tear it apart, shred it, and then throw it back in your face. It's gotta be. And then when they find out, no, not that. Like, it's literally just the name of a lineage of people. Mexicans, that's the name of the lineage of people. What can you do with them? When you get it from Mexican in California, that don't mean a Mexican in New York got beat up. Like, you get it from Mexican in California. Like, you didn't change and stop nothing. And with as far as the Mexican collective agenda, political agenda, same thing with us. Harm an FBA person in Europe, harm the FBA person in Europe. That don't stop something happening in Texas. Now, we should link up, get on call and address that. But what I'm saying is, there's nothing, you can't attack something, an FBA somewhere, and then the whole lineage is plummeting. That's not how that works. And when they realize that, that's when they don't want to hear more like, we're going to assign you a leader. Personally, they assign is teaching that she's. And then when that doesn't work, they sign us in Malcolm X. And that doesn't work, they sign us to Big Fun. That doesn't work. And we're just a bunch of cult followers.
As far as the largest other, the mainstream society, they don't know what FBA is. So and that's not the disrespect, but to answer the question, how does it fit into society? I mean, nobody really knows. I mean, that's the thing. Either they don't know or they don't care. People like Drake said it before, and I can agree with this. They know who the descendants of the slaves are here in this country. It doesn't take a study and 1,001 years, and we need to go look over the paperwork. No, they know who the people are in this country who have identified as black. So how does it? I mean, I don't know, man. I don't really know how, like, that specific coin and phrase, I don't know how it really fits into the larger aspect of society. Because when I say that, I feel like nobody knows what I'm talking about. You kind of have to stop and explain it. So, to answer your question. Sorry if I'm all over the place.
I got you.
Now, what I said was that they want FBA to be more than what it is. They want it to be something tangible that you can just grab it, break it, toss it, and and burn it. But when they find out the FBA is just the name of a lineage of people, they're like, okay, what do we do with that? Like, how do we undermine that? How do we shred that? How do we break that? And it becomes too difficult when it's explained that way. Like, well, dang, we're done. So what they got to do from that point is assign us a leader, and they'll try to assign us Tariq Nasheed as our leader. And when that doesn't work, they'll dig in the past and try to assign us Malcolm X as our leader. And when that doesn't work, they'll say the elders. And when that doesn't work, they'll say Yvette Carnell's our leader. When that doesn't work, they'll say we're a bunch of cult members. We're a bunch of cult members, and they'll leave it at that. Or we're a bunch of bots.
I got you. Sound good. So now, you sent me an email, right? And in this
T1
email,
Productions.
You
Salida,
say,
American Indian.
You said, listen, man, I tried to holler at you, man, at the rally, and you
I forgot. I didn't think you would write that up, man.
Yeah. No, I get real busy, and I apologize to anybody who emailed me. To anybody that who emailed me, and I don't get back to you on time. I'm super busy. I'm super busy. I just don't do YouTube. You know what I'm saying? But I do read them, and then I'll come back, and then I might respond like a month later. That's why some people, some moochie bears out there send me information. They be like, "Oh, you finally used it," because sometimes it just take a little while. But in your email, you say, what? You said I came to say something to you, but your security, you put your security on me. When in fact I really didn't. But I really didn't. But they had
this dude got slapped and went and got security.
Man, you were filming.
But they
at the end of the day, you were filming.
But they did have strict orders because it's a lot of agitated people. We quick to do something to each other before we do to the European. You know what I'm saying? So they had strict orders. But with that being said, what were you trying to? What did you wanted to say though?
I'm saying the same thing that I basically, what said when we talked the other day on the phone. Is that I live like I said in the beginning here. I live by a code of B1. I live by following an agenda of Black empowerment. I live by I look at myself as a foundational Black American, but I do not trust
Black Rose.
Tariq Nasheed. I do not trust.
Hold up.
I'm sorry. That's what I was going to say though, man. But like I said, you were filming, so you didn't stick the security on me, man. You were in the middle of filming. It was. Was it not 1,000 degrees a day in the middle of November? Come on. It was like I could have rolled up with any kind of energy. I'm as hot as hell out there. So, it's fine. I don't take any kind of offense though. But yes, that's what I was going to say, man, that I live by these things. I agree with these things. Some things just resonate with you. You know what I'm saying? Some people rep the hell out of football teams, something that I don't condone, but I can understand where the love and the energy comes from when somebody wants to say, yeah, you damn right I'm a foundational Black American. You dang right I'm ADOS. You dang right I'm a freeman or descendant of slaves. You dang right I'm, this, that, or whatever. I can totally understand.
So before we get to the meat of the conversation, where we're going to when you had this confrontation, how do you exist as a foundational Black American with no real agenda? You know what I'm saying? Because it seems like, what's the agenda for FBA? What's the agenda from your perspective? Now, I know you can't speak for all FBAs, but for your perspective as proclaimed a foundational Black American,
Black Rose,
what's the agenda?
Right.
Just saying a lineage or what?
My personal agenda, when we talk about living by a code of B1, that's putting Black, that's the definition, Black first. My agenda is Black empowerment. My idea of Black empowerment, is fighting
Oh, this is a 2-hour video. Let me save this for later on. I'm gonna get back with you later on. I gotta go and I gotta head back. So I'm gonna hit y'all a little later on. Peace to the lineage. You dig.